Imagine flying into battle, outnumbered, outgunned, and with only your skill standing between life and death. Your enemy is just as deadly. Aces with dozens, even hundreds of kills to their name. But who were the greatest? And how did they dominate the skies in history's deadliest war? World War II was a proving ground for the most skilled pilots in history. Some became legends, racking up kill counts so high they seemed almost impossible. But behind these numbers were intense duels, near-death escapes, and brutal realities. Today, we're diving into the stories of the greatest aces from Germany, the US, the UK, France, and Japan. Who was the deadliest? Who had the best tactics? And who pulled off the most insane dogfight of the war? Welcome back to the war. Let's start with the man whose record may never be broken. Erich Bobby Hartmann, the deadliest ace in history with 352 aerial victories, and that's not a typo. But what made Hartmann so lethal? It wasn't just raw talent, it was strategy. While other pilots engaged in drawn-out dogfights, Hartmann perfected the hit-and-run tactic. He would sneak up unseen, fire a short, lethal burst to disappear before enemy pilots could react. This method was so effective that Soviet pilots feared the very sight of his Messerschmitt Bf-109 and its distinctive black tulip nose art. But here's the question: was Hartmann the best because of skill, or because he fought in a theatre where the enemy was less experienced? Drop your thoughts in the comments. While Hartmann dominated in the East, over in the Pacific, Richard "Dick" Bong became America's top ace with 40 aerial victories, and he did it in a P-38 Lightning, a twin-engine fighter that looked nothing like the sleek single-engine Bf-109 or Spitfire. Bong's secret weapon: insane flying skills. He pushed his P-38 to the limit, using its firepower and durability to outgun Japanese fighters that were more agile but lightly armoured. One time, he even flew under a bridge, not in combat, just to impress his future wife. And here's a wild fact: despite being America's top ace, Bong was grounded in 1944, not because he was injured or shot down, but because the military didn't want to risk their top fighter pilot before the end of the war. Would you have grounded him, or let him keep flying? Let us know in the comments. Over in Europe, Johnny Johnson became Britain's greatest ace, racking up 38 aerial victories, all against the Luftwaffe. But what makes his story incredible isn't just his kills, it's how he got them. Johnson wasn't a natural ace. He struggled early on, even being grounded for surgery, but he adapted, studied enemy tactics, and turning himself into one of the most precise shooters of the war. He flew the legendary Supermarine Spitfire, using his agility to counter the deadly Focke-Wulf 190. And here's something most people don't realise: while the Battle of Britain gets all the attention, some of the fiercest aerial duels happened during the Normandy invasion. Johnson led Spitfire squadrons over the beaches, taking on the Luftwaffe in some of the most chaotic air battles of the war. So here's a question for you: if you had to fly into combat, would you pick the Spitfire or the P-51 Mustang? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's talk about a pilot who fought against impossible odds. Pierre Closterman, France's top ace with 33 confirmed kills. Closterman didn't just fight for France, he flew with the Royal Air Force. joining the Free French Air Force after Germany occupied his homeland. His weapon of choice, the Hawker Tempest, a beast of a fighter with deadly firepower. What makes Klosterman's story so fascinating is that he wasn't just a skilled pilot, he was a survivor. He was hit multiple times, had to crash land, and even after being wounded, he got back in the cockpit and kept fighting. His book, The Big Show, gives one of the best first-hand accounts of aerial combat in World War II. Would you have had the guts to keep fighting after getting shot down? Let us know in the comments. Next, we have Hiroyoshi Nishizawa, Japan's deadliest ace with over 80 confirmed victories, but possibly far more. Nishizawa wasn't just a great pilot, he was an aerial artist. He could make his Mitsubishi Zero dance through the air, outmaneuvering opponents who should have had the upper hand. His skill was so legendary that his fellow pilots called him the Devil of Rabaul. But here's the twist. Nishizawa wasn't shot down in the dogfight. Instead, he was killed while being transported in a bomber, shot down by an American fighter. Imagine that, one of Japan's most feared aces taken out without even being in the cockpit. That raising an interesting debate. Would Nishizawa have been even deadlier if he had been flying a plane as advanced as the Mustang or Spitfire? What do you think? Before we wrap up, there are a few more legendary pilots who deserve recognition. These aces may not hold the top spots, but their skills, daring manoeuvres, and incredible combat records make them just as fascinating. For the Soviet Union, the greatest ace was Ivan Kozhedub, who racked up 62 aerial combat victories, including shooting down a German Me-262 while flying an La-7. Another Japanese pilot, Saburo Sakai, the one-eyed samurai. Another Japanese ace who had over 60 confirmed victories and one of the most unbelievable survival stories of the war. For Canada, George Buzz Burling. Nicknamed Screwball, George was Canada's deadliest ace, scoring 31 kills, many of them over the intense battles over Malta. And for Italy, Francesco Baracca, the ace who inspired Ferrari. Now that we have covered the greatest aces and some hidden legends, the big question remains: who do you think was the best? Hi soldiers, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to check back in again soon. That's an order.